what do we have in the news? It's all bad news, right? But God's kingdom is good news, okay? And Jesus declares that the prerequisite for entering to his kingdom is to be like little children. Now, what makes them candidates for God's kingdom? So we read in Matthew 18:3. It says, Jesus says, unless you turn and become like children, you will never, never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So Jesus was highlighting some virtues or characteristics of little children. And we have another passage, 1 Corinthians 14:20. What does it say? It says, brothers, do not be children in your thinking. Be infants in evil, but in your thinking be mature. Now, if we combine these verses, we can understand that becoming like children refers to childlike humility and not childish immaturity. Okay? It means childlike humility and not childish immaturity. Now, children are born with sinful nature. We know that, okay? And very soon, they will learn to willfully disobey and rebel. However, little children are weak. What are their characteristics? They are weak, they are powerless, they are vulnerable, they are helpless, they have no merits. They are all dependent on adults. And they know they are needy. They know that everything they have are gifts from the parents or from whoever. They have no credit, no recognition, no achievements, no credentials. They have done nothing to earn or deserve God's kingdom. They bring nothing to the table. They have nothing to add to God's work, okay? And this is the meaning of childlike humility. So Jesus declares that whoever wants to receive God's kingdom must be like these kind of little kids. So the remarkable thing, the prerequisite for you as an adult to enter, to receive God's kingdom, is that you need to know, like, that you have no qualifications. You have nothing to bring to God's kingdom. To recognize that if you ever enter, it's all by God's grace. It's a gift from God. Now, another interesting fact. Look at your Bibles. Guess what story comes after this story? Okay, Mark chapter 10, verse 17. What story comes after this story? Clarissa? The rich young man. Oh, wow, interesting. So, what's the story of this rich young ruler, right? In contrast to the little kid who cannot earn anything to receive God's kingdom, and yet kids are welcome into God's kingdom, this rich young ruler, he thought he could try earn his place in God's kingdom. Of all the candidates for God's kingdom, he thought, I have something to contribute, right? He's rich, he's young, he's a ruler. He thought he could inherit God's kingdom by bringing something. Sadly, he walked away. He walked away without being able to enter. Now, there's more to this story, okay? But we are not going to dissect it. Now, sometimes, right, as we grow older, we think we have lots to contribute, to bring to God's table. If that's our attitude, we are still not understanding what it means to receive God's kingdom. We need to recognize that we are poor and we are needy. And we receive everything by God's grace. And we remain in his kingdom by God's grace. This does not mean that we do nothing, okay? But even our efforts, our service to God is also by God's grace. And even as adults, we need to maintain that childlike humility in our relationship with God.